Hello everyone, this is part 2 video on past year NEET questions from the topic dual nature. Now those who are looking at this video can also take a look at the first part so that you will have continuity of questions. We will start with a question that has come in 2015 paper. A photoelectric surface is illuminated successively by monochromatic light of wavelength lambda and lambda by 2. So first we are using wavelength lambda and then we are using wavelength lambda by 2. If the maximum kinetic energy of the emitted photoelectrons in the second case is 3 times that in the first case. Obviously why it will happen? Because in second case wavelength is less means what? The energy of the incident radiation is higher. So the Ke max in the second case is 3 times the Ke max in the first case. The work function of the surface of the material is how much? So we have to give the value for the work function in terms of Planck's constant h, speed of light and the lambda. So let us see how do we proceed. So what is the basic idea? If you look at the Einstein's equation of photoelectric emission, the energy of the incident radiation. So in the first case if you see it is what? hc by lambda minus work function. That will be equal to the maximum kinetic energy of the emitted electrons in the first case. So let us call it as equation 1. In second case when we are using the incident radiation wavelength lambda by 2 means it will be what? hc by lambda by 2. Work function will remain the same. Why? Because we are dealing with the same metal surface now. So in this case the maximum kinetic energy of the emitted electrons, let us say it is what? Ke max 2. But what is told to us is this is the 3 times Ke max 1, isn't it? So that is what is given in the question statement. So which means in place of Ke max 1 what we can substitute? This hc by lambda minus phi naught. Phi naught is the work function. So here the phi naught is basically the work function. So and this is what we have to get. So we have to find what is the value of the work function. So let us see how do we do it. So now we are just going to do the last step. What is it? So here the 2 will go to the numerator. So what we will have is 2 hc by lambda minus work function is equal to 3 times of what? The Ke max 1. What is Ke max 1? hc by lambda minus work function. So if you multiply means what is it? It will become 3 hc by lambda minus 3 phi naught. So left hand side will have 2 hc by lambda minus phi naught. So now it's just about rearranging. So we will bring minus 3 phi naught to the left side and take 2 hc by lambda to the right side. So what we will have is the left side what will be there? There will be 3 phi naught minus phi naught. That is basically 2 phi naught. Right hand side 3 hc by lambda minus 2 hc by lambda is what? It will be hc by lambda. So 2 phi naught is equal to hc by lambda means what is phi naught? It will be hc by 2 lambda. So we are looking for phi naught, right? So 2 phi naught is hc by lambda means phi naught will be equal to what? The 2 will go that side. It will be what? hc by 2 lambda. So the correct answer for this is option C. Now this is a straight question on the use of the Einstein's equation for the photoelectric emission. Next we will go to the question that has come in 2015 paper. Light of wavelength 500 nanometer is incident on a metal with the work function 2.28 electron volt. The de Broglie wavelength of the emitted electron is, so here if you see these options, right, I mean actually this question can be answered even without really solving it. Why? Because, so think of it. So when the same concept, so when radiation is incident, what do we say? We will say that we will know what is the maximum possible kinetic energy of the emitted electrons. Means if you look at the de Broglie wavelength of the emitted electrons, what is the formula for the de Broglie wavelength? So we have different formulas, right? So the formula that we can use is lambda is equal to h by root 2 mk, because here from the Einstein's equation we will know what is the kinetic energy. Now if we are having the k max value, because the kinetic energy is coming in the denominator, here m is the mass of electron, h is the Planck's constant. If you are having k max, then the corresponding lambda will be what? The lambda minimum. Means the electrons emitted will either emit with this much amount of kinetic energy or lesser value. Means the electrons emitted will have this much amount of wavelength or a higher value of wavelength, because when kinetic energy is lesser means lambda will be more, which means always we will have a relation like what? The wavelength of the emitted electrons, we will have it like what? So it will be always like what? Lambda is more than or equal to some value, that is our lambda minimum. Lambda minimum, how it will come? It will come from this formula. So which means always, I mean, whatever be this value, right, it may be some 2 or something, I mean, let's not talk about what is the value, it may be anything. Our final understanding will be like what? When they ask us the de Broglie wavelength of the emitted electrons, it will be like what? De Broglie wavelength of emitted electrons will be more than or equal to some value. So if we look at these options, right, only in option A we have such answer given. Lambda, it's like what? Is more than or equal to 2.8 in 10 power minus 9 meter. Means this can be our lambda minimum. This can be the lambda minimum concept. But the other options, right, none of them are talking about this kind of an expression for the lambda. So without really solving itself, right, we can conclude what is the answer. But let's anyway go ahead and solve it. What is it? So as we are saying, right, when you talk about the maximum kinetic energy of the emitted electrons, it will be what? The energy of the incident radiation hc by lambda minus work function phi naught. So here the thing is, hc value is we can take it as 1240 eV nanometer. This is a simplification term that we use whenever we are trying to convert the hc by lambda in terms of electron volt, because hc value can be 1240 eV nanometer. So lambda we will have in nanometer, so straight away there nanometer gets cancelled, and thereby we will get the value of hc by lambda into electron volt, because already this is in work function is in electron volt, right? So if we simplify, it means we will get the k max value. K max value will be coming as close to 0.2 electron volt. So here one thing we must keep in mind, I mean, when we are trying to find the wavelength, right, look at these options. Options are given in terms of meter, means the final answer should be in terms of the SI unit. Now coming back to the discussion that we had before, right, so what is the formula that we will be able to have? We can have, because this is k max, right, what is the lambda corresponding to the k max? That will be the lambda minimum, because look at the de Broglie wavelength formula, lambda is equal to h by root 2 mk, right? So when we say k is k max, the corresponding lambda will be lambda minimum. So if we substitute these values, right, I mean, we can just substitute one by one. What is the value of h? 6.626 into 10 power minus 34. So everything in terms of the SI unit. So 10 power minus 34 joule into second, divided by root of 2 into m is what? Mass of electron. 9.1 into 10 power minus 31 kg into k max. What is the k max? 0.2 electron volt, means 0.2 into 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 joules. So if you simplify this, right, this is what, I mean, we can check it again. The simplification of this will actually give us what is this lambda minimum value, and that is what will be 2.8 into 10 power minus 9 meter. So the value that we will get from this is what? The lambda minimum. Now the wavelength of the emitted, the de Broglie wavelength of the emitted electrons, right, how it will be? This is lambda minimum, means the de Broglie wavelength of the emitted electrons will be always like what? Their wavelength will be more than or equal to this lambda minimum, which is what? 2.8 into 10 power minus 9 meter. So that's why in the analysis also, right? Initially, what is that we said without even going through all this calculation. This is where sometimes it can help us in saving the time, because if our analysis is correct, we will be able to get the answer without even really putting out all these values and solving for it. So answer is option A. Now this is another question, 2015 cancel paper it has come. This is a straightforward relationship based question. Which of the following figures represent the variation of particle momentum associated with the de Broglie wavelength? So what is it? So particle momentum with the de Broglie wavelength, right? So what is the formula we have? De Broglie wavelength, lambda is equal to, we have different expressions for the de Broglie wavelength, but the one that we can use is lambda is equal to what? H by P. So it is like what? If you want to look at the relation, it's basically inverse relation. It's like, we have y is equal to some constant by x type. Either ways. So if you see what will happen if the lambda is increasing, that means what? The momentum must decrease. If momentum is increasing, means lambda will decrease. Inverse relation. So what is the correct graph that represents the relation? It is option D. So moving on to the next question. This is another question, 2015 cancel paper. A certain metallic surface is illuminated with a monochromatic light of wavelength lambda. The stopping potential for the photoelectric current is 3V0. So one thing we need to keep in mind is stopping potential will be negative in terms of value. If the same surface is illuminated with a light of 2 lambda, means we are changing the wavelength of the incident radiation. The stopping potential is now what? V0. The threshold wavelength of this photoelectric effect is how much? Threshold wavelength means where does the threshold wavelength come? If we say that work function is phi naught, so that will be equal to what? Hc by lambda naught. So this lambda naught is what we will be calling as the threshold wavelength. So now let's come back to the question. So what is this? The first now again we will have to use the Einstein's equation. So the incident energy radiation, using this the electrons will get emitted. So they will get emitted with as per the equation we will be able to know what is the Ke max. Ke max will be equal to minus E into the stopping potential. So why minus E? Because that is the charge of the electron. Vs is the stopping potential. So the first relation, right? What is it? We are incidenting a light of wavelength lambda, means incident energy radiation is what? Hc by lambda minus work function is equal to what? Minus E into 3V0. So this is equation 1. So the Ke max, in place of Ke max, what we can substitute? Minus E into the stopping potential. In the second case, we are incidenting a wavelength of 2 lambda. Then since we are dealing with the same metal surface, right, work function will not change. That is equal to what? Minus E into V0 it becomes. Why? Because they are saying the stopping potential is V0. Now from this, we have to find what is the threshold wavelength, means lambda naught we have to find. So if you get work function, means we will know what is the threshold wavelength. So how do we do it? So from equation 2, right, minus E into V0 is this value. Substitute this in the first equation. So first equation left hand side is, I will use a different color so that we can see it. So left hand side of the first equation will be as it is. So left hand side is what? Hc by lambda minus the work function is equal to right hand side 3 times of minus E into V0, right? So what is minus E into V0? Hc by 2 lambda minus the work function. So what we will get from here is Hc by lambda minus work function is equal to what? 3 Hc by 2 lambda minus 3 times of work function. Now we have to rearrange. Bring the Hc by lambda to the right side. Take minus 3 times of work function to the left side. So this will give us what is the work function finally. So look at this, what we will get. So here we will write down the thing. So from here, right, what we will get is left hand side is 3 times work function minus work function, that is 2 times work function, is equal to right hand side 3 hc by 2 lambda minus hc by lambda, that is hc by 2 lambda. So from here what we will get is work function is equal to what, hc by 4 lambda. Now work function we have to equate it to what, hc by lambda naught, right? That is the relation. So how do we relate the work function to the threshold wavelength, hc by lambda naught? So hc is cancelled. So what we can see, lambda naught is equal to what, 4 times of lambda. So what is the answer for this? It is option D, which is the threshold wavelength lambda naught is equal to what, 4 times r1. Again, this is also a question based on the Einstein's equation. Next we have a question that has come in 2014. When the energy of incident radiation is increased by 20%, the kinetic energy of the photoelectrons emitted from the metal, the kinetic energy is increasing from where, 0.5 to 0.8. Using this we have to find what is the work function of the metal. So again same thing. So the energy of the incident radiation, we don't know what is it. Okay, so what we will do is we will say the energy of the incident radiation in the first case is E minus work function is equal to what, the maximum kinetic energy. So here they are not mentioned it, but we will take it as when they say kinetic energy of the photoelectrons emitted, means we will take it as what, the Ke max. The second case, when the energy of the incident radiation is increasing by 20%, means what, the incident radiation energy is what, increasing by 20%, means 120 by 100 into E, correct? So that is like what, 1.2 times of E. The second case, what will be the Einstein's equation for the photoelectric emission? Incident radiation energy is what, 1.2 times of E minus, since we are dealing with the same metal surface, work function will not change, is equal to what, 0.8 electron volt will come, because in the second case what they are saying, the kinetic energy of the emitted electrons is 0.8 electron volt. Now using these data, what we have to find, we have to find the work function. So here from the both equations, what is it that we have to eliminate is the E value. E value we have to eliminate. So what we will do is look at this from the first equation, right? E is equal to work function plus 0.5 electron volt. So we will substitute this in the second equation. So 1.2 times of, in place of E what we will substitute, work function plus 0.5 minus work function is equal to 0.8. So here one thing we need to keep in mind, the final answer will be coming in terms of the electron volt. So if you multiply using the distributive law, what we will get, look at it. So this is 1.2 times of work function, 1.2 times of work function, my plus this is 1.2 into 0.5 means that is 12 5s are 60, means it will be 0.6 minus work function is equal to 0.8. So this is 0.2 times work function. So we will take the 0.6 to the right side, is equal to 0.8 minus 0.6, that is again 0.2. So what we will have is 0.2 times of work function is equal to 0.2, means work function is equal to what, 0.2 by 0.2. So in terms of value, it is coming as what, 1, but we know that the unit will be in terms of what, electron volt. So the correct answer for this is option B, which is 1 electron volt. Again same thing. So this question also, like we have been seeing, in this entire video, right, most of the questions we are using the Einstein's equation. So Einstein's equation, the energy of the incident radiation minus work function is equal to the Ke max. So we have two forms, just keep this in mind, we have two forms for the Einstein's equation, right? What are the two forms? One is the Ke max form, and second is the stopping potential form. So what is it? The energy of the incident radiation minus work function is equal to Ke max. This is the form 1. Second form is The energy of the incident radiation minus work function is equal to, in place of Ke max, what we will have to substitute? Minus E into stopping potential. So we have seen that either we are using the first form or the second form in these cases. So again, the answer for this question is option B, which is 1 electron volt. And again, similar kind of question. This is come in 2014. If the kinetic energy of the particle is increased to 16 times the previous value, the percentage change in the de Broglie wavelength of the particle is. Now, similar in the sense, the percentage change or the factorial change questions, right? They are quite common. So here this is a question based on the de Broglie wavelength formula itself. What is it? The kinetic energy of the particle is being changed. Then they are asking what is the change in the de Broglie wavelength. So what is the formula that relates the de Broglie wavelength, the kinetic energy of the particle? So lambda is equal to h by root of 2mk. This is the formula. So where k is the kinetic energy of the particle and lambda is the de Broglie wavelength. So here if the kinetic energy of the particle is increased to 16 times, so let us call it as the first case, the normal case. When we change the kinetic energy to the 16 times of its value, means what it becomes, mass of the particle will not change, right? So here it will become what, 16 times of k, and the corresponding wavelength we are calling it as lambda dash. So look at this, what happens, h by, here the 16 will come out of the root as 4, root 2mk, 4 is outside. Now what is h by root 2mk? That is our original lambda. So what is that? Lambda by 4. So what we are essentially getting is the new wavelength, lambda dash is equal to what? Lambda by 4, means 1/4 of the original wavelength. Now they are asking what is the percentage change in the de Broglie wavelength. What is the formula for the percentage change? Remember, always what is the percentage formula? The final value minus initial value by initial value into 100. That will give us the percentage change. Final value is what? Lambda by 4 minus initial value is what? Lambda by lambda into 100. So what is it that we will have? Minus 3 lambda by 4, that is the numerator, by lambda into 100. So lambda gets cancelled. 25 is, what is it that is coming here? Minus 75 is coming. Now, this indicates basically what? It's a negative percentage change. So rather, what is it? The de Broglie wavelength is decreasing by 75%. But since here that minus plus differentiation is not given, the option that we will choose is option B, which is 75%. But one thing we need to keep in mind is, when you calculate the percentage change like this, right? The final value minus initial value by initial value into 100. Using this formula, when you calculate the percentage change for anything, the sign is also important, because sign will tell. So what does the sign will tell? Sign will tell us whether this percentage change, the sign value will tell us whether the percentage change is increasing or decreasing. Negative when it comes means it is decreasing by that much percentage. Okay. We'll move on to the next question. This is a question that has come in NEET 2013 paper. The wavelength lambda E of an electron and lambda P of a photon. This is not a proton, this is what? Photon, light particle. They have the same energy E, and they are asking what is the relation between them. See, for the electron, the wavelength, right, is related to the de Broglie formula. What is it? H by root 2m k. The k is the energy of the electron. So this is so if you square on both sides, means what we will get? Lambda electron square is equal to what? H square by 2 times mass of electron into E. Let us keep it as equation 1. Now the photon with the wavelength lambda P is also having the same energy. Remember, for the photon, right, what will be the relation? For the photon, the relation will be, the energy using the Planck's quantum theory. So what is it? E is equal to hc by lambda. So using that formula, we will be able to so let us see how we can write the expression for the photon. So lambda of photon will be equal to what? So when we say E is equal to hc by lambda, this is the relation, right? So lambda will be equal to what? hc by E. That's it. Now when we look at both these, so let's call it as equation 2. So from both these expressions, we have to comment on what is the relation between lambda for the photon and lambda for the electron. So what is the relation that we will have? One thing is in this entire thing, if you are trying to relate the E term, so from here what is that we can say? E is equal to, from the second equation, E is equal to hc by lambda photon, right? So just go and substitute this in equation 1. So equation 1, if we substitute, means what we will get? Lambda electron square is equal to h square by 2 times mass of electron into, in place of E, what we will substitute? hc by p. 1 h gets cancelled, lambda p will go to the numerator. So what we will have is lambda electron square is equal to h into lambda photon by 2 times mass of electron into c. Now clearly we can see that h is a constant, mass of electron is a constant, c is a constant. So what is it that we will have? The lambda electron square and lambda photon, they both are proportional to each other. So what is the answer for this? It is option C. The square of the lambda of the electron and the lambda for the photon, they both will be directly proportional to each other. Next we have another question that has come in NEET 2013 for the photoelectric emission from certain metal, the cutoff frequency. So cutoff frequency, what is it? This is also what we call as the threshold frequency, the minimum frequency required for the emission of photoelectrons. If the frequency of 2 nu impinges on the metal surface, means that is incident on the metal, the maximum possible velocity of the emitted electrons will be. So here we have to again state, it's a straight application of the Einstein's equation for the photoelectric emission. What is it? Energy of the incident radiation, h into 2 nu, that is the energy of the incident radiation, minus work function. So if the cutoff frequency is nu, means work function will be equal to what? H nu. So in place of work function, what we will substitute? H nu is equal to the Ke max. Ke max is what? Half into m into v square. So this v is basically the maximum possible velocity of the emitted electrons. Left hand side, what do we have? H nu, because the 2 h nu minus h nu is what? H nu is equal to what? Half m v square. So from here what we will have is 2 h nu by m is equal to v square, and if you take a square root on both sides, means 2 h nu by m, that is what is v. So the maximum velocity of the emitted electrons will be option A, which is root 2 h nu by m. It's a straight question based on the application of Einstein's equation for the photoelectric emission. Now we have another question, NEET 2013 Karnataka paper. A source of light is placed at a distance of 50 centimeter from the photocell, and the stopping potential is found to be what? V naught. If the distance between the light source and the photocell is made 25 centimeters, the new stopping potential will be how much? Now this is a kind of a theoretical question, so just think of it. If you have the source here, this is the bulb, this is the source, okay. So initially the distance of the surface, this is the let's say metal surface, the distance of the surface is 50 centimeter, and in the second case we are bringing it close to 25 centimeters. This is the metal surface in the second case. Now what we need to keep in mind is in both the cases it is the same source, means the frequency of the light emitted will be same. Remember what is the formula that will relate the frequency of the emitted radiation to the stopping potential? Incident energy h nu minus work function is equal to what? Minus E into stopping potential. So one thing that we need to keep in mind is, since it is the same source, in both the cases we are using the same source, right? So the frequency of the incident radiation will not change. What will be changing is only the intensity of the light, because when the source is farther, the photons emitted by the source will basically spread through a larger area by the time they reach the metal surface. So as a result, less number of photons will come to the surface. Intensity will be less when the metal surface is moved away from the source. So means intensity will be corresponding to the saturation value of the photocurrent. But the intensity will not have a role to play in determining what is the stopping potential value or the maximum kinetic energy of the emitted electrons. They will only depend upon what is the frequency of the light that is incident. So in this case, what is the answer for this? So whether the source and the photocell, their separation is 50 centimeter or 25 centimeter, in both the cases the stopping potential will be same, which means in the first case it is say for example they are saying first case what is stopping potential V naught, second case also it is going to be what V naught only, it will not be changing. So this is about the part 2 video, and we will see in the next part.